Welcome to Law Simplified. Let us begin with our second lecture in Law of Contract. Okay, as I told you, you do not have to know each and everything about Law of Contract because you are still not a law student. You are in 11th grade or 12th grade. So what you need to know is just a basic knowledge about these subjects. So you are not required to know all the sections also. Okay, so in Indian Contract Act, what you are required to know about contract. So this is second lecture on Law of Contract. Essential elements of a contract. Know these elements and then solve MCQs easily. So what are the essential elements of a contract? Essential element means, see, if you are making tea, what are the essential elements? Water and tea powder, right? So these two are essential elements. Some people put sugar, some people do not. Some people put milk in a tea, some people do not. But water and tea powder, these are two essential elements for making tea, right? So what are essential elements for making a contract? Contract is a simple agreement between two parties. One party says that I want to give this thing to you for this much money, and other party says that yes, I want to purchase this thing for that much money. Okay, so this is contract. So what are the essential elements for a contract? Number one, offer and acceptance. So there should be two parties for every contract. One party making the offer and other party accepting the offer. So offer and its acceptance is essential for a contract. So for every contract, first thing, two parties. Okay, one party making an offer and other party accepting the offer made by the offerer. Now remember one thing here. Okay, there are so many MCQs on this. If A is telling B that I want to sell my notebook to you, okay, for 10 rupees on Monday, and B says that yes, I want to accept your notebook for 10 rupees on Monday, so exactly same offer is accepted. But if B says can you give it to me for 7 rupees, then this is not acceptance, this is a counter offer. It means original offer is cancelled. So remember this for MCQs. So for every contract, two parties are essential. One party making an offer and other party accepting the same offer which is made by one party. Number two, intention to create legal obligation or legal relationship. Okay, example, suppose you are calling your friend for a dinner at your house and you do not feel well, and that's why you tell your friend, I cannot give you dinner today, I'm not feeling well. Can your friend take you to a court of law? Can he file a lawsuit against you? No, because there is no intention to create legal relationship. So for every valid contract, intention to create legal relationship is very important. Okay, so if husband promises wife that I will give you 500 rupees every week for your expenses and he doesn't give, then in this case wife cannot file a lawsuit against husband because there is no intention to create legal relationship. It's just a family adjustment. Number three, lawful consideration. Now what is consideration? If I tell my friend that I want to give these AirPods to you for 500 rupees. So these AirPods is a consideration for my friend and 500 rupees is a consideration for me. So something in return of something. That something is called consideration. Okay, if you go to a shopkeeper and you give him 10 rupees and ask him for a Cadbury. So Cadbury is a consideration for you and 10 rupees is a consideration for shopkeeper. So for every contract, consideration must be there. Next thing, capacity of parties. Parties must be capable to enter into a legal relationship. So what is capacity? According to Indian contract law, capacity means parties must be major. Major means above 18 years of age. Okay. In case of guardians and wards, about 21 years of age. So both the parties should be major. Number two, parties must be mentally sound. So parties must be of sound mind. If lunatic or idiot people are there, they cannot enter into a contract. Again, MCQ can be asked, if a person is of unsound mind and he enters into a contract when he is of sound mind, then that contract is valid, that is allowed. Okay, because in case of unsoundness of mind, those people are sane or good for some time and they are insane for some time. So when they are sane or good and they enter into a contract, it is a valid contract. So remember this for MCQs. Okay, and third condition is parties must not be disqualified from contracting by law. Some people are disqualified from into contracting by law. For example, aliens or foreign enemies, like that. Okay, so parties must be capable to enter into a contract. That is condition number 4. Condition number 5, free consent. Okay, what is free consent? If A tells B that I have kidnapped your mother, okay, and you enter into a contract with me, otherwise I will kill your mother. Is this a free consent? Okay, it is not. Free consent means you should do it willfully. It should be done freely. So consent should be free. When consent is free? When you are not threatened by anyone, right? Or there are some things like there should not be any fraud. Fraud means if uh, A and B, they enter into a contract, okay, and A tells B that I'm going to give you